stick these tail fins on, I'm going to use some epoxy and microspheres to get a nice little fillet in the join there, and probably put a little bit of glass over the top of that as well. But to just hold it in place before I do that, I'm going to use a bit of Gorilla Glue, and to hold it in place while I do the Gorilla Glue, I've just put a little piece of dowel in there, and you make the hole there a little bit too small so that it kind of fits in there alright. And then because there's a nice curved scalloped out bit on there, I'm hoping that it should all just fit there and stay there while the Gorilla Glue's setting, and it doesn't. If I don't use too much Gorilla Glue, hopefully it won't sort of puff out and move it out of place. Or some kind of tape just to hold it there while the Gorilla Glue's drying, and we'll eventually get there. So here's that connection after it's dried and all tidied up. I think it turned out pretty good actually. And the connection is really nice and solid. So there's no spar inside these fins, but I don't think it needs it. All it really needed was a solid joint here, and then the glass going up here can take care of the rest of it in this direction. Okay, so with the tail fins now on, that means the airframe itself is complete. And I'm just weighing it here to see what we've ended up with. And it's showing me 830. I'm quite pleased with this actually, because it's a fairly large plane. Its wingspan has ended up at 1,615 millimeters. There you go, 832 grams. So 1,615 millimeters wingspan, which is exactly to the millimeter the same as the flying wing plane, just by coincidence. But there's actually a servo in each wing and a little control horn thing as well on there. So I set those up ready to go. So if you take that weight off, it's actually about 810 grams or so, which is pretty good considering it's all completely fiberglass and everything. So I'm really happy with the weight. And all I have to do now is put these things on, receiver ESC and the motor and the other two servos, and figure out what battery I can use. It looks like for the first flight at least I'll be going with this 3S 4 amp hour battery. That'll put the CG in a reasonable place, and it will give me a total all-up weight of 1,210 grams, which is very, very close to my target of 1.2 kilos. Okay, we're finally ready for the maiden flight. We have some pretty decent weather this morning for a change. I had to put some fairly long wires in to reach the motor, and I didn't have the thin the kind of thickness of wire that I wanted, so quite a bit of weight went into the back, which meant that my 4,000 milliamp hour battery that I was going to use I couldn't use, and the next one up that I had was this 5.2, so that's a 3S 5.2 amp hour, and unfortunately we are now 1,360 grams. What happened to my 1.2 kilos? Oh, why does this always happen? Anyway, so it's going to be a little bit higher wing loading than I wanted. It's actually almost the same wing loading as Homeslice 2, the flying wing kind of plane. So I'm a little bit apprehensive about launching it with no headwind, although I do have on my side this big tail this time. The main problem I think with the flying wing plane was that it needed a lot of airspeed before the tail was able to hold itself downward. Oh yeah, and the other thing that I'm a little apprehensive about is that in the interests of keeping everything light, I've gone with a motor that is probably pushing the limits of what we could use to keep this plane in the air. That is a 2308 1950 kV motor, I think, spinning a 6-inch prop, 6x6 prop. So it's yeah, perhaps a little bit optimistic. Not too sure how this is going to go. That's my main concern.
Oh man, there's no wind at all. Hope this works. Ready? It's tail heavy, I think. Wow. How could that be tail heavy? Impossible. That's a bit of a surprise. Open VSP, did you let me down? I put the CG exactly where it seemed like it should be, according to the software program and according to my, professional plane designer's intuition. Unfortunately, tail heavy, huh? Alright, well I had to put the battery as far forward as I can get it, and if this still doesn't work, I might actually have to put an even larger battery in, which would be a bummer, but hopefully we'll be alright. Okay, it's better. Much better. It's noisy. Very noisy. Glide's pretty good. Okay, hands off stick. Yeah. Oh, now it's pitching down when I let the stick go. Ooh, not as stable as I'd hoped for. It's a good glide though. Bit of rudder there, yep. Oh, it's a nice glider. I have the motor off this whole time, by the way. Look at that. Beautiful glide. Okay, I might just have to put some motor on here. See if we can come past a little bit closer for you. This is fairly comfortable. That's hands off, turning to the right a little bit. I mean left. Oh, it's pretty good. I don't know what was going on with that first launch, and even the second launch was very sort of wobbly. Was it just airspeed, maybe? I guess that's possible. Okay, that's hands off there, and it's pitching up now. Very strange. Yeah, pitching up. What the hell? Okay, now if I power off, it pitches down quite strongly. A little bit weird. I wouldn't have thought that the motor at the back like that, that's hands off. Wow, pretty good. The motor being at the back like that wouldn't have affected it so much, but maybe it's just the airspeed. Okay, sharp turn. See if I can glide past in front here. Ooh, not bad at all. It's actually climbing a little bit there at just under half throttle, so that's good. Come past again. Glide. A little more trim to the right. Yeah, it really wants to nose down in a glide, so I'm wondering if maybe now it's too tail heavy. I mean too nose heavy. And the issue that I had with launching was just not enough airspeed. And it's going to be a little bit hard to figure that out until I get a different weather situation to what I have now, because with no wind, it's a bit hard to tell. But there's been no shortage of wind lately, that's for sure, so any day now we'll be able to figure that out, I'm sure. Yeah, it actually doesn't need much throttle to keep level, that's good. It's a bit slower than I thought. I thought it was a fairly slippery plane, but here we go, glide again. Just have to keep in mind I've got these trees right next to me here. Oh, the prop stopped, that's nice. Yeah, keep the airspeed up please, yeah. It definitely needs a bit of airspeed, that's for sure. It seems like it's a decent glider, but it's not a slow glider. Does that make sense? I think it does. Okay, I'll just turn the motor off here and see how long we can keep it up. Oh shit, what happened? I think I lost signal there, what? Okay, that's not cool, but we're okay now. Gliding. Oh yeah, it glides real good. Glides real nice. Tip stall. Did you see that? So you just can't let it get slow. Fortunately, the tip stall wasn't like a really nasty one. Actually, that's probably something I should check while I'm doing this. So I'll go up a bit higher. Well, I kind of did just check it now, but I mean, check it on purpose, I mean. Alright, so I'll just back off the throttle a little bit here and pitch up. Okay, yep, it definitely wants to tip stall at the slightest opportunity. That's a shame. But it's not so bad that a flight controller wouldn't be able to manage it, I think. Which is the main thing. Here's a goose. Look at that, the goose is going faster than I am. Nice. Seems to be flying alright, but it's one that you have to be a bit careful with, I think. Definitely it tip stalls a lot easier than other planes I've had, or at least planes of the comparable nature like the Mini Talon. Yeah. Oh, this is about as slow as we can go, I think. But this is a nice, comfortable cruise. About 40% throttle, it's cruising in level flight. That's quite nice. Okay, so this is 40% throttle. Can't really climb at that throttle, but it's fairly comfortable for level flight by the looks of it. Well, I think it did actually climb a little bit there. But definitely 50% throttle makes me feel a bit more comfortable about everything. One thing I will say is that I haven't really been able to fly hands off much. Let's give that a try. Right, that's hands off. Oh, actually that's pretty good. It's going up. A little bit, I think. Now it's going down. Oh, anyway, that's hands off for a good, 10 seconds at least. It's turning around, I think. Yeah, it's turning to the left. Well, actually, you know what? I'll just leave it. Yeah, it's gradually turning to the left. But apart from that, it's fairly stable. Right, so it's easily climbing, albeit slowly, at 50% throttle. So I'd say that's probably a good comfortable target to aim for if the autopilot's going to be flying it for long distances. Hands off here, by the way, so now we need to actually go to the left a little. Yeah, I think it's climbing still. But either way, it's not really having any difficulties staying fairly straight and true. Although, now it's turning left again. Yeah, trying to trim to the right a little, bump it back that way. Okay, well, I'm quite happy with that now that I've actually tried it properly. See if we can turn it to the right. I think the slight nose heavy setup that it has at the moment is tending to stop it from pitching up and up, which I think it would be doing otherwise. Anyway, let's glide from there and just straighten it up a bit there, see what happens. Looks pretty good. Turn to the left. Oh, it's already turning to the left for me, I think. a little too much. Let's straighten that up again. Oh, that's pretty good. Can't quite see what level of pitch this is at the moment. I think it's pitching down a little more than I'd want. Let's just bring it back this way. Oh, that's great. Look at that. This hands off here, gliding. Oh, a little bit to the right. There we go. Oh, it's beautiful. It's pitching down a little bit much, but that does help it keep the airspeed that it needs to stop tip stalling. So it might be a good thing, you know, if it does that when it's like when it's not being manually controlled. If it just sort of reverts to that attitude, that's probably quite good. All right, can we get back over here maybe? I wonder if I can bring it back from there. It's a bit far away, I think. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. You know what? I might just bring it in for a landing if it looks like it's going to do that for me. I think it will. Look at this. Well, that concludes the Maiden. I'm pretty happy with that. It was a bit of a wobbly start, but yeah, just airspeed maybe? I don't know. I should probably give it another try here, just to see if anything's changed. What was that? Maybe I shouldn't be trying to throw it up so much. But I wasn't really. I was only throwing it sort of, you know, 20-30 degrees at the most. I think one of my dowels is not getting into the foam properly there. Oh no, there we go. A little bit of a crack there. I think everything else is okay. Oh, it doesn't want to sit in straight at all. Look at that. Bloody hell. Oh, and it's... We've picked up some dihedral now too. Should I throw it again? Yes, I know you said yes immediately, didn't you? I don't really want to throw it again, but, well, let's just see what happens when I try and throw it a little bit straighter. Oh shit. Servos are going, but the motor's not going. So, yeah, that's cool. Something wrong with the motor or the ESC, I guess. Oh well, that's the end of that for today, until I can figure out what it is. So yeah, thanks for watching, I guess. We'll see if I can figure out what the problem was with the ESC or the motor.